I hate all this self-improvement stuff. I guess that's partly because I'm already perfect, so I don't need it. So I guess I'm approaching this from a position of privilege, but I still think I should weigh in. Here's my problem with self-improvement. If you're an unenlightened dolt, and most people are, then your ideas about how to improve yourself are sure to be unenlightened as well. That's why what passes for self-improvement these days is usually just get more muscle, get more money. So that's your big idea, huh, about how to improve? You're going to lift a big old hunk of metal over and over again till you damage your muscles so they grow back a little bigger. And you're going to hustle a little harder, selling more of your time to the bloodthirsty cogs of Economos's capitalistic murder machine. That's what you got. Okay. Don't get me wrong. I have nothing against gym rats or hustle culture. If that's really what you think's going to satisfy you, but, don't let my words dissuade you from your passion, is what I'm saying. But I just hope you're doing it for the right reasons. I hope that you're pursuing things that genuinely give you a sense of satisfaction and not just trying to succeed on the standards set by others to impress everybody else. Because let me tell you something. Other people's expectations are a prison. And if you allow them to dictate your path in life, you're not escaping the prison. You're just decorating the cell. You feel me? In my opinion, self-improvement is not something you pursue. It's something that happens as a result of pursuing your true passions and giving absolutely not one shred of a fuck what anyone else thinks about it. Because whatever you like in life, you got to learn about. You have to practice till you're better. Let's say your passion's the violin. Well, you got to learn about it. You got to study it in whatever way works for you. You got to observe it. You got to play it, and you got to play it, and you got to play it. And as time goes on, you become knowledgeable about it. You become good at it. And in that, your self is improved. And you didn't do it for anyone but you. And here's the funny thing, you could still show off. Even though you didn't do it for that reason, now you have that as a fringe benefit. At a moment's notice, you can bust out the fucking violin and play some sad sap shit to class up the room. Or you can just fiddle something hot, maybe win a fucking golden fiddle against the devil or something. Too much self-improvement today forgets that the first word is self, right? You have to do something, pursue something, learn something that springs from the self, that enriches the self. I think people forget that. They get too hung up on the improvement part. And they end up pursuing something superficial, not designed to enhance their self, but only their status. Here's the thing about status, though.
That shit's just a hologram. It's a mass delusion.
It's actually worse than basing your ambitions on other people's opinions. It's basing your ambitions on the default setting opinion that uncritical people who don't even know what their true opinions are because they think, and I use that word loosely, what they think is just fed to them by some mass media bullshit. Some cultural faction or political party or religion. You're basically trying to please something dead. You're trying to please a system of values that lives not in the hearts of human beings, but rather just exists as a meme complex out there in the ether, kept going by a false sense of obligation and a compulsive adherence to tradition. You want self-improvement? The first step is dropping that turd you've been carrying around. the turd of ideology, of culture, of faith, of all these things that stand between yourself and your true will. And that's not easy. That's a lot. Because from day one on this fucking planet, the superorganisms, the meme complexes, they start building up their software in your head. They start feeding you their fucking garbage morality, their template desires, their pre-approved dreams. You're born in this world and they hand you a mask and they say, this is you. This is your face. And there's 4 kinds of people out there. There's the person who never learns the truth. They never question the mask. They wear it with pride all their days. These kinds of people go to their deaths having never lived a moment. Then there's the person who knows the mask is false. They know it doesn't fit. They know something else is beneath, but they're scared. They fear what's underneath. What if it's horrible? What if it's evil? And so they cling even harder to the mask. They champion the mask more vociferously than anyone. Then there's the person who rejects the mask. They toss it away. I don't need this fucking mask. But then they freak out because underneath the mask, they don't find their true selves. They find chaos. They find a writhing mass of contradictions and turbulent emotions that they can't control. And so they either become utterly deranged or they scramble back to the comfort of the mask, terrified of what they saw beneath. Then there's the person who comes to understand what both neuroscience and certain contemplative traditions like Buddhism have long suggested. That the self, as we commonly understand it, some unified, enduring identity, that is an illusion, a cognitive construct. What we call the self is not a solid, fixed thing. It's a process, bundle of neural patterns, memories, sensory data, emotional conditioning, social scripts, predictive models, all stitched together by the brain to create the illusion of continuity. Cognitive science shows us that there is no single you sitting behind your eyes issuing commands. So what does this person do? They refine the mask. They reshape it. They start creating new masks. A new mask for every occasion. As many identities as they need to navigate the world with fluidity. Not as a form of deceit, but as a conscious recognition that identity is a tool and not a truth. There is no authentic self hidden deep within, only patterns. Patterns that can be edited, adapted, even transcended. And so here we arrive at the truest criticism of self-improvement as a concept. There is no self. Self is a construct. There is no improvement. Improvement is subjective. So what is the true aspiration? The true aspiration is to gain agency over the process that shapes your experience. Not to become something final, but to constantly influence the unfolding. This is why when I talk about will, I modify it by saying true will. But you may be asking me, how the fuck can I have a true will if I don't even have a self? And that's a great point. Here's how I look at it. Your true will isn't the command of a fixed identity. It's the emergent tendency of a system once you strip away all of the external noise. It's what arises when you remove the conditioned responses, the borrowed values, the inherited scripts. It's not something you decide, it's something you notice. Think of the brain as a prediction engine Most of the time, it's running on cached routines. Do what gets approval. Avoid what brings pain. Repeat what's familiar. But when you begin to observe these routines, dissect them, challenge them, interrupt them, then you create a little space. And in that space, you start to feel the pull of something deeper than instinct or indoctrination. That pull isn't always rational, doesn't always make sense in terms of survival or social validation or even coherence, but it's persistent. It's directional. And when you follow it, even haltingly, it generates a kind of resonance, not pleasure necessarily, not ease, but a feeling of internal alignment, of friction dropping away, of movement that feels informed, even if you can't explain by what. So that's why the title of this video is Fuck Self-Improvement. Because the term itself and the ways it's viewed inherently serve the charade, or if you want to be British about it, the charade, the illusion. And the time has never been better for you to drop the charade, to lose the illusion, to listen to your true will, and embrace the directionality of your own personal chaos. That is all.